Cricket fans across the world are glued to their television screens as the much-awaited one-day International World Cup has kicked off earlier this afternoon in Ahmedabad's Narendra Modi Stadium. 4 years on from the pulsating final at Lord's, defending champions England and runners-up New Zealand have come face-to-face at the curtain raiser, expected to be a cracker of a match. England and New Zealand are among the top sides, according to the cricket experts, and having the potential to march all their way to the final to be played on 19th November. Good evening, I'm Chitrakar, and these are the headlines of the hour. The commission formed to probe into the smuggling of gold starts its work from today. The commission granted jurisdiction to issue warrants and make arrests. The Supreme Court issues a show cause notice in the name of the President's office and the government to furnish clarifications on the presidential pardon given to Yog Dhakal alias Riga. Death toll in the northeast India flooding climbs to 14 while 102 others are reported missing. Rescue works hampered by washed out bridges and fast flowing rivers. And the England versus New Zealand curtain raiser of the ICC World Cup 2023 currently underway in Narendra Modi Stadium, Ahmedabad. England post a target of 283 runs. The commission formed to probe into the smuggling of gold has started its work from today. The commission has called for a suggestion from the public for amendment of laws and structural improvements. The commission, formed under the leadership of former Supreme Court Justice Dilli Raj Acharya, held a press meet earlier today and said that investigation on cases of gold smuggling will be held under similar jurisdiction of court. Chairperson of the commission, Acharya, said that the commission had been granted the jurisdiction to issue warrants and make arrests as well, hinting towards former Deputy Speaker and former Deputy Chairperson of CPN Mao Centre, Krishna Bahadur Mahara, who has been dragged into the case. Chair Acharya claimed that no suspects will be overlooked during the investigation. The commission has said that investigation will be conducted based on the investigation done by police, among other entities. The commission has prepared to seek support from the concerned entities for the same. The commission has demanded suggestions related to its working area from the general public and experts of concerned sectors. The commission includes former Additional Inspector General of Police Sahakul Thapa, former Joint Secretaries Kishore Jang Karki and Prem Joshi. The government had formed the commission on Sunday. The commission has been given a deadline of 3 months. Bharati Manand has continued hunger strike demanding to scrap the presidential pardon provided to Yog Dhakal alias Regal on the occasion of the Constitution Day. The wife of slain activist Chetan Manandhar, Bharati, had begun the hunger strike at capital's Maitighar from yesterday. Bharati has demanded to scrap the presidential pardon given to Regal, who had murdered her husband. Bharati was taken to hospital yesterday after she collapsed while demanding justice at the premises of the Supreme Court. Bharati continued the hunger strike from 8 a.m. earlier today and said that she would not return home until justice is served. Meanwhile, hearing on the case filed by Bharati, the Supreme Court has issued a show cause notice in the name of the government, demanding clarifications for administering the presidential pardon on Regal. The single bench of Justice Manoj Kumar Sharma issued the directive in the name of the President's office, the Prime Minister and the Office of Council of Ministers to furnish written clarification on the presidential pardon. It may be recalled that Regal and his group had murdered Bharati's husband, Chetan Manandhar, by attacking with a sharp weapon at Dhambojhi Chowk in Nepalgunj on 13th of July 2015. Regal, who was the president of Tarundal in Bake 3 at that time, had been serving jail term on charge of Manandhar's murder. However, he was granted the presidential pardon on the recommendation of the government on the Constitution Day on 20th of September. CPN Unified Socialist Chairperson Madav Kumar Nepal has said that the authority did not hold discussion with them before deciding to grant presidential pardon to Yograj Thakal of Nepalgunj. Speaking to reporters in Garuda of Rohtahat, leader Nepal claimed that the government did not hold discussion before granting pardon to Thakal. Nepal had reached Rohtahat as per the party's Mechi Mahakali promotional campaign. Minister for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation Sudan Kirati has said that despite calls for tender to operate 6 Chinese aircrafts brought from China 9 years ago, applications have not been filed so far. Responding to the questions raised by lawmakers during the meeting of Foreign Relations and Tourism Committee held earlier today, Minister Kirati said that the aircrafts had remained unused as not a single application concerning the tender has been filed. He said that parts of Chinese aircrafts are not easily available and are expensive, which would cause difficulty in maintenance of the aircraft. He also pointed out the lack of flight instructors in the country. All 6 aircrafts brought from China have remained unused. An exorbitant expense of 500 to 600 million rupees is being spent for parking fees, insurance and repair of the aircrafts. In a different context, Minister Kirati said the government was confident that the European Union (EU) would remove Nepal from its air safety blacklist. The government has geared up to transfer the Chief District Officer and Head of Police of Nepalgunj, citing failure to maintain security during unrest earlier this week in Nepalgunj. During the meeting of the National Security Council held yesterday in Singhdarbar, discussions were held regarding the possible transfer of the Chief District Officer and the Head of Police. Meanwhile, the Secretariat of the Ministry of Home Affairs has said that it is unaware about the development. The curfew imposed in Nepalgunj from Tuesday earlier this week was lifted this morning till 8 p.m. The curfew will be back in place from 8 p.m. later this evening till 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. A child who was among the 19 individuals who had taken ill after a party in Sindhupalchok has died. Police have said that 5-year-old Abhishek Tamang of Gyalthum 4, Helambu succumbed to his illness while being treated in Kathmandu. The local residents of Gyalthum in Helambu rural municipality were taken ill following a feasting held to celebrate the construction of a water storage tank. The Helambu Basic Services Center said that symptoms of those who have become ill include fever, diarrhea, headache and nausea among others. The patients are suspected to be suffering from food poisoning. 9 individuals whose health condition did not improve after being treated at the health post are being treated at Dhulikhel Hospital. Vehicular movement has been obstructed since early morning today due to landslide in Jorte under the Tansen Riddhi road section. The District Police Administration Palpa has said that vehicular movement has been obstructed due to landslide in Laghua and Jorte of Ribdikot rural municipality. Vehicles headed towards Gulmi, Arghakhachi and Baglung from Palpa have been stranded due to the obstruction of roadway. Police have said that clearing the debris will take time. Likewise, police have urged to use alternative routes as the Argali-Rani Mahal road section has also remained obstructed due to landslide. Rani Mahal is at a distance of 15 kilometers from Argali, while Tansen is at a distance of 13 kilometers from Rani Mahal. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. What do you term the obstruction of admission process at the TU Institute of Engineering because of the dispute related to fee hike? Your options are A. Political intervention, B. Consequence of government indifference, and C. Clash of the institute and students. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. Norwegian author and dramatist John Foss has been awarded the 2023 Nobel Prize in Literature. The prize is awarded by the Swedish Academy and is worth 11 million Swedish crowns. Frost 64, who writes in the least common of the two official versions languages of Norway, New Norwegian, which is only used by about 10% of the country's population. In addition to more than 24 plays, the prolific writer has also published novels, essays, collections of poetry and a string of children's books over a period of 4 decades. At least 14 people were killed and 102 are missing after heavy rains caused a Himalayan glacial lake in northeast India to burst its banks, and rescuers were being hampered by washed-out bridges and fast-flowing rivers. The Lonak Lake in Sikkim state burst its banks yesterday, causing major flooding, while authorities said that it had impacted the lives of 22,000 people. It is the latest deadly weather event in South Asia's mountains, being blamed on climate change. As of early Thursday, the State Disaster Management Agency said 26 people were injured and 102 were missing, 22 of which were army personnel. 11 bridges had been washed away. The weather department warned of landslides and disruption of flights as more rain is expected over the next 2 days in parts of Sikkim and neighboring states. Sikkim was cut off from Siliguri in West Bengal as the main highway has collapsed. G.T. Dhungil, a member of the Sikkim Legislative Assembly, said that petrol and diesel had already become scarce in state capital Gangtok, but food was easily available. A cloudburst dropped a huge amount of rain over a short period on the Lonak Glacial Lake, triggering flash floods down the Testa Valley, about 150 km north of Gangtok, near the border with China. Other mountainous areas of India as well as parts of neighboring Pakistan and Nepal have been hit by torrential rains, flooding and landslides in recent months, killing scores of people. Wednesday's disaster was worse than when a 1968 lake breach in Sikkim, as it involved the release of dam water from state-run NHPC's Testa V dam. A government source said that 4 dam gates had been washed away and it was not clear why they had not been opened in time. NHPC said it will assess the damage when the water level recedes to normal. Thai police arrested 4 men suspected of illegally selling modified firearms to the teenager who opened fire in a luxury mall in Bangkok this week, killing 2 and wounding 5. 2 of the 4 were arrested in the Thai capital and 2 in the southern province of Yala on suspicion of selling a modified blank gun to a 14-year-old who has been charged with premeditated murder and illegal possession of a firearm. The men also had illegal firearms, tools to modify pistols and narcotics in their possession. Mass shootings are rare in Thailand, but gun violence and gun ownership is common. Ownership rules are strict, but firearms can be modified and obtained illegally, many smuggled from abroad. The government also began closing legal loopholes regarding online sales in a bid to control the spread of weapons. The government plans to ban imports of blank guns, BB guns and imitation firearms, its deputy spokesperson, Karam Phonphon Klang, said in a statement. A small group of demonstrators protested in Hong Kong against Japan's release of a second batch of treated wastewater from its wrecked Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant earlier today. Gathered outside the office building of the Consulate General of Japan in Hong Kong, the demonstrators handed a petition letter to an official from the consulate while chanting for the immediate halt to the nuclear wastewater discharge plan. 31-year-old demonstrator Pang Yap-min said Japan cannot continue to be selfish and disregard international concerns and the health of people from neighboring Asian countries. China banned all Japanese seafood imports in August, while Hong Kong stopped importing Japanese seafood products from 10 prefectures. About 3,000 people were evacuated in the Spanish island of Tenerife earlier today after a wildfire that raged over the month of August was reignited due to wind and unseasonal hot weather. Spanish police started the evacuation process in the towns of Santa Ursula and La Ortava on Thursday. The fire over the summer ravaged almost 15,000 hectares of woodland within the national park surrounding the Mount Teide volcano. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. The commission formed to probe into the smuggling of gold starts its work from today. The commission granted jurisdiction to issue warrants and make arrests. The Supreme Court issues a show cause notice in the name of the President's office and the government to furnish clarifications on the presidential pardon given to Yog Thakal alias Regal. Death toll in the northeast India flooding climbs to 14 while 102 others are reported missing. Rescue works hampered by washed out bridges and fast flowing rivers. And England versus New Zealand curtain raiser of ICC World Cup 2023 currently underway in Ahmedabad, India. England posts a target of 283 runs for victory. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.